As we all know, Rollie Rolando Romero used to call out Errol Spence all the time before Errol Spence fought Terrence Crawford, right? And now, in a recent interview with Ellie Setback on ES News, Rollie Rolando Romero reveals why he called him out. But before we get into that, please punch that subscription button, that way you'll never see it again, and ding the notification bell, if that way you don't miss any of my new boxing videos. Alright guys, let's get to the round. Ding, ding. Okay champs, let's get started. In an interview with Ellie Setback, he interviewed Rollie Rolando Romero. He asked him a lot of questions about fighters, who do you think they will win against each other, and a bunch of future fights. In that same interview, Ellie Setback tells Rollie that he just finished talking to Coach Bullet about him fighting Terrence Crawford, and Bullet says that he will knock out Terrence Crawford. And Ellie Setback asks Rollie what does he think about that. Rollie answers, I never sparred Crawford or even cared about fighting Crawford. I used to call out Spence. Yeah, I used to call out Spence because everybody knows that I wanted to get that fight and everybody knows why. He said that he noticed that Spence has been fragile and weak and basically just a shell of himself. He said that he has been through a lot, the car wreck and everything. Rollie said that he wanted to capitalize on it, but he said that Crawford is the lucky one that he was able to capitalize on it. He also added that Crawford beating Spence doesn't make Crawford much of anything. Now, if he would have beaten him 3 years ago, that would have been a different story, he adds. But he believes that Spence would have beat the ish out of him 3 years ago. He also adds everybody is high on Crawford right now, but he is really not that special. He adds, and he wants to move up in 3 weight classes to challenge Canelo? Rollie says, if Crawford goes up in 3 weight classes and fights Canelo, he will never be able to box again. Ellie asked everybody in the interview, there was about 10 people, and everybody goes, I 100% agree. I agree myself. I believe Canelo will end Crawford's career, or Crawford will never fight the same way again. Rollie also adds, I believe he would do worse than Charlo. I believe so too, because when Canelo fought Charlo, it was the 168 undisputed versus the 154 undisputed. I believe that size did not matter, but it did. Charlo, the full-size lion, couldn't move Canelo, the rhino. So when Charlo went up there, it was a full-blown size lion against a full-blown size rhino. And what can one weight class lower do to a rhino? Say like a jaguar. The jaguar is the 3rd largest cat in the world. First is the Siberian tiger, then the lion, then the jaguar. So it would be a jaguar versus a rhino. The rhino will kill that jaguar. But if for some miracle the fight does happen, they could build this fight as undisputed versus undisputed 2. The 147-pound undisputed fighter against the 168-pound undisputed fighter. Sounds weird, huh? Okay guys, but I digress to my point. It's funny though guys, I have said this in my past videos about a lot of boxers being able to beat Errol Spence on that one night in a similar fashion, including Rollie Romero, Clarissa Shields, Devin Haney coming in at 135, and now I believe Logan Paul and Dylan Dennis could beat him as well. Oh, and Sharkeisha. I have also heard that Errol Spence did suffer a rib injury in his training camp and he could not train for a good while of his training camp. But before the Terrence Bud Crawford and his fight, I did notice he did not look the same at all. I have no idea. I knew there was something wrong with him. Even on all axis, he looked different in the last few videos that they made. I have never seen anybody look like that just for being weight drained. And I have said that in my past videos, since I am a real fit person myself and I know what it takes to be that fit and what to eat and not to eat and how to work out and how to sleep and everything. and I used to box myself too. I believe Errol Spence is probably hiding some information from the public, because without that information, Errol Spence, it's very hard to buy this fight, especially at 147 if you're not able to make the fight at 154. Selling it at 154 is the only way that you'll be able to make the same amount of money or even close to it, because if you sell it at 147, I don't think a lot of people are going to buy this fight. But what do you guys think? Is Rollie telling the truth, or he is capping? Did he really know that Spence was on the decline and that he was having trouble making weight and he looked terrible? I mean, we do have the receipts and the time frame does match. So I know a lot of videos where he was calling out Spence a lot of times eagerly. So that does match up. I don't see how he would lie about this. I do believe him. I don't see why he would lie. I know he jokes around a lot, but I never seen nobody say that, oh, Rollie's always lying, he's lying, like Devin Haney, huh? But comment below if you believe he is lying or not, and comment below if you think Rollie could have beaten him that one night, and I'll write to everyone back. Oh, and I forgot, guys, subscribe.